You're watching City Channel 4, your window to our community.
I'd like to welcome you to the final day of our 5th annual One Book, Two Book Children's Literature Festival. We've had some amazing programs over the past 2 days, and we're excited to present today's program right out loud. So Iowa City is one of only 20 UNESCO-designated cities of literature in the world, so it's obvious that we take writing very seriously here. As is fitting for a city of literature, the young people in our community are amazingly talented. Our organization wanted to find a way to recognize and celebrate that talent, so we created this Write Out Loud event. We asked students in grades 1 through 8 from throughout the Iowa City-Cedar Rapids corridor to submit one page of original writing. It could be a story, an essay, a poem, an illustrated story, or just about anything else they can imagine. And these kids can imagine some amazing things. Our partners with Pearson here in Iowa City evaluated these pieces and selected grade level winners in 2 categories. So we have the right stuff, which is judged based on language, clarity, structure, and emotional impact, and From the Heart, which is judged based on creativity, passion, and expressiveness. In addition, they identified the top 15% of students in each grade. These students today will receive honorable mention recognition. This year, we received more than 800 submissions, so there was some stiff competition for these top spots. So today is made possible by the support of many organizations. We have many volunteers. Our festival committee, headed by Sarah Glenn, has helped us tremendously. Today we were helped, and as well as Friday night at our banquet, with the University of Iowa course, Drama in the Classroom, where those folks were able to help the students get ready for their time on stage. We also were helped by the University of Iowa President's Office, who helped us to secure this facility today. The Community Foundation of Johnson County, from a fund established by Carolyn Brown and Jerry Zimmerman, provided significant funding for us today. See if I can get my real thank yous up here. ACT helped us, U.S. Bank, and Hotel Vetro. And Urban Acres sponsored the booklets that have been made available that feature this weekend's top prize winning pieces. I know we maybe have a few left. We were trying to be very vigilant to make sure every family got at least one. They were very popular this year. They were kind of pricey to put together, frankly, and so we had a finite number of those. So if you didn't get a chance to get one, make sure that you can go back and visit Rachel and Sarah there at the back to get one. We will also have a PDF of that booklet on our website, onebooktwobook.org, so that if you want to send a link to grandma and grandpa or aunts and uncles and cousins, you can certainly do that. Also sponsoring parts of the festival, including today's event, is Terry Lockridge & Dunn and World Trend Financial. For the 3rd year in a row, these firms have underwritten our Friday kickoff banquet and have sponsored the prizes for today's grade level winners. I would like to welcome Terry Lockridge & Dunn President Paula Rogers to the stage. Thank you, Paula, where she'll help us to distribute today's prizes. So thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, in addition to a certificate, each student will receive a $10 gift certificate to Iowa Book, which is right across Clinton Street from where we are today, and they have informed me that they are indeed open this afternoon. Hint, hint. So, in addition, we will stop halfway through and again at the end of the program to draw winners in our door prize categories. We have a couple of Kindle Fire tablets we're giving away, as well as tickets to the Dr. Scott the Paleontologist show happening May 15th at the Engler. Our thanks to the Tuesday Agency here in Iowa City for that prize. So all of the students who are here today being recognized are eligible. Hopefully you got your name put in the box at the back that we will be drawing from. If that didn't happen, make sure you have somebody from your family, or you run back and see Rachel in the One Book, Two Book t-shirt back there. Now, I think we've covered all of the bases there, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I would like to welcome Jim Throgmorton, who's Iowa City Mayor, to the stage to present our first awards. Jim.
Didn't fall down. No, you got down.
Yeah. Thanks, John. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you today. I'm remembering that when I was a little boy, my mother used to take me on the bus from way out on the periphery of Louisville, Kentucky, to downtown, to the free public library, and she introduced me to literature. You know, gave me a chance to read all sorts of great books on my own while she was going through the stacks and that kind of thing. So that makes me think about a related point. We have a lot of great writers in the room. Great writers are also great readers, and great readers start by being great listeners. They listen to their parents read to them at night when they're little. So congratulations to all you parents for being great readers, to your children who have become great listeners, who are in the process of becoming great writers. So anyhow, thank you. So would our first grade students please come to the front of the stage? You will come onto the stage in the order that you're called to receive your certificate. Our first grade honorable mention students are, first, Izzy Brown from Lincoln. Izzy? Izzy, if you would, go over to those steps. All right, and our second student is Austin Austin G. from Wickham. Our third student is Lily Neibauer from Regina. Our fourth is Aiden O'Leary from Horn. Aiden? And our fifth is Ella Pressler from Willowwind. Where's John? Congratulations to all you for being such fine writers. And with John, they stay on the stage at this point, right? Okay, good. That's right. Congratulate them all. Our The Right Stuff winner is Zaid Aldos from Van Allen Elementary, who's going to read Rabbit Changes Himself.
Rabbit changes himself. Once upon a time, there was a rabbit. All the animals thought he was just an ordinary cute rabbit. One day he went to play with his friends. His friends said, "Hello, cutie." He hated it. And then he saw a rabbit, a turtle. He went to the turtle and asked him, "Is there anything you can do to help me be scary?" The turtle said, "Yes, but why do you want to be scary?" "Because all the animals in the jungle think that I am just an ordinary cute rabbit," said the rabbit. So the turtle said, "I have a friend who could help you become scary like a monster." The rabbit said, "Take me there now, please." The turtle took him to his friend. Before he went to the turtle, the rabbit asked, "Who is your friend?" The turtle answered, "My friend is a witch." "What? How could your friend be a witch?" said the rabbit. The turtle said, "Don't worry, she is a nice witch." "Okay, then let's go," said the rabbit. When they got there, the rabbit thanked the turtle, and then he knocked on the witch's door. The witch said, "What do you want?" The rabbit said, "I want to be a monster." "Why do you want to be a monster?" said the witch. Rabbit said, "All the animals in the forest think I am just an ordinary cute rabbit, and I hate it." "Are you sure?" said are you sure? "Sure, because there is no turning back," said the witch. "I am sure," said the rabbit. So the witch mixed her ingredients and let the rabbit drink it. When he drank it, he broke the witch's roof because he was so big. Then the rabbit went back to the forest. When he got there, everyone ran into their houses right away because everyone was so scared of him. Rabbit was so happy, he said, "Oh good, now I can play and do whatever I want. The next day he was sad because all his friends didn't want to play with him because he was so scared. He could recognize that. So he saw the turtle and ran back to him. The turtle said, "Please don't eat me. Don't worry, I am not a monster. I am just a little cute rabbit," said the monster rabbit. "Of course you are not the little rabbit. You are a monster." "Okay, but what do you want?" said the turtle. The rabbit said, "I want to go back to being a regular rabbit because no one wants to play with me. I am so scary," the turtle said. Wait. "But remember, there's no going back. Please, there has to be one way," the rabbit said. "Let's go ask the witch," said the turtle. They go back to the witch. When they got there, the rabbit asked the witch, "Is there any way you can help me go back to normal?" "No, but let's try to find one together," said the witch. They looked and looked and looked and looked until they found the recipe. The witch mixed her ingredients so the rabbit can drink it. When he drank it, he came back to normal. The rabbit thanked the witch and went back to the forest. When he got there, everyone peeked out of their doors. They saw no monsters, so they went out to play. But they did see the rabbit. When the rabbit saw his friends, he jumped to play with them, and he was so happy. The rabbit realized you should never change yourself. Yourself is the best. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.
All right. Our second reader is the From the Heart winner, Sharvi Dora. She's from Lincoln Elementary, and she will read "If I Were the President of America."
If I were the President of America. If I would get a chance to be the President of America, I would hope to make a difference. I would work hard to make people love each other. I would ask all parents to love their children and all children to love their parents. I would want to help the poor find jobs so they can feed their family. I would try to make college feel less so everyone can be smart. I would convince people to not cut trees so Earth can stay beautiful. I would want to help soldiers, spider fighters, and police because they are brave and help keep America safe. I would urge all the presidents to not fight wars. I would want to travel and learn about other countries. When I'm tired after all the hard work, I will go to sleep with a hug from my mother and a kiss from my father.
All right, so now I'm going to invite our second grade students to come to the front of the stage. You'll come onto the stage in the order you're called to receive your certificate. And once you get up on the stage, please stay. Don't walk back to your parents' seats. So our second grade honorable mention students are Myra Cunning from Willowwind. Anissa Khalil from Lincoln. Are they going to come up? All right. Okay. Layla Langseth, Garner. Claire Locher, Longfellow. Oh. Adelaide Newton, Lincoln. Savannah Page, Garner. Lillian Rantanen, Lincoln. Shanza Sami Borlaug. Liv Slaughter, Garner. Garner Stanton, Man. Caroline Vanderweg, Wickham. And Landon Vadilov, Borlaug. So congratulations to all our honorable mention winners. Our Right Stuff winner is Praneel Rastogi from Wickham Elementary. Praneel will read The Kingdom of Adventure.
I'm Atlas Osborne, Ado for my friends. I'm a liger, which is a cross between a lion and a tiger. I'm also a writer of adventures. Although I'm an ordinary liger, somehow I managed to get into the most extraordinary adventures. My grandfather Mordecai publishes storybooks and wanted me to write one about the Kingdom of Adventure. I sat in my favorite chair having cookies and milk, trying to think of something to write about. I fell asleep and then suddenly woke up in the Kingdom of Adventure. It was huge, bigger than you could imagine. I spotted many strange creatures, some from the past and some from the future. Then I saw a wooden box with a sign written in a strange language and a scroll, which was the code to translate the sign into Kinglish. I opened the box and took a good look inside. No jewels, but only an old, crumpled-looking map. Where would this lead to, I thought. Only one way to find out. As I walked down the path shown on the map, I arrived at a very odd-looking castle. Here everything was upside down. In the center of the room of the castle was a nice and gentle-looking king sitting on the throne. Ado, you made it here. You made it here. How does he know my name, he said. You made it here, he said. I have a mission for you. Meanwhile, I thought to myself, how does he know my name? Must be some magic, I guessed. You have to collect one vial of the most precious, rarest of rare, and visible ink. I needed to send secret communication to other kings and queens like me, in case there's danger, said the king. This valuable treasure is hidden deep in the dungeon on an island. The moat around it that is guarded by fierce sharks. The king gave me a magic teleportation device. I pressed the buttons and was immediately transported to the island. I looked around for a cave leading to the dungeon. It was hidden behind some big rocks as I went further deep into the dark cave and switched on my torch. Soon I came upon a path with 3 separate sections, each going in different directions. Before I could go into any of them, I looked around for any clues like any good adventure should. I spotted a sneaky little button behind the rock in the corner. I pressed it. Suddenly, a big passage opened right behind me. I started down the passage. There was a slide which led to the moat. Luckily, I had sardines, which I threw into the water. The sharks got distracted, and I quickly jumped across the moat. In the torchlight, I could see a box tucked away carefully behind a tree root. I grabbed the box and pulled really hard. Suddenly, the moat vanished. I found myself back in that maze of tunnels. To get out from here could take forever. I took a couple of deep breaths to calm myself down and thought of Grandpa Mordecai. It was almost if I could hear his voice echo in my ears. Atlas, focus, focus, echo, that's it. I shouted into the mouth of each passage and went down the ones that didn't have an echo, meaning no walls in a long tunnel, hopefully leading out. Finally, I got out and ran towards the teleporter, hoping to get to the palace quickly. "Here you go, Your Majesty," I said, handing the box with invisible ink to the king. "Ada, I'm so glad you made it back safely. This magic ring is your reward. It's painted with invisible ink and will bring you back when you tap on it 3 times. Only you will be able to see the ring." Wake up, Atlas," said Grandpa Mordecai. "Have you thought of any ideas for your book?" And I just gave him a cheerful smile.
Beautifully done. Now, from the heart winner is Hazen Addis from Lincoln Elementary, who will read Back in Time.
Once upon a time, there was a ginormous house. The owners of this house were named Mr. and Mrs. Carr. They also owned 50 miles of land, so you can probably guess they were rich. No, wait, they were beyond rich. They were so rich they had chefs, servants, and maids. But most of all, they had clocks. They had hundreds of clocks. But their favorite of all the clocks was a very old grandfather clock. One day, they found out that mice were getting into the house and chewing on the wires. One of the mice got into the grandfather clock. He pumped the gears and the clock hands started to spin backwards. But the odd thing was, when the hands started to spin, the clock started being taken apart. People in construction had started appearing. Mr. and Mrs. Carr were screaming as the construction workers started to take out the windows in the house. They saw people riding horses on a dirt road where the house had been. Then everything stopped. The clock was on the ground and the hands had stopped turning. Mrs. Carr said to Mr. Carr, "Where are we and who are these people?" Mr. Carr said, "Let's ask one of these people." So they went up to one of the horse riders and said, "Where is this?" "This is Iowa," said the man. "What kind of clothes are those? I'd never seen anything like them." Mrs. Carr said, "This shirt was $120. Why are you dressed like that?" "Why, these are perfectly normal clothes," said the man riding the horse. Mr. Carr said, "Well, if those are normal clothes, we must have gone back in time." "But that's impossible," said Mrs. Carr. Mr. Carr said, "Then what happened?" Mrs. Carr thought for a second and then said, "You must be right, but how do we get back?" They said thanks to the man on the horse. And then they went to try to figure out what had happened. They didn't know that the clock had made it happen. They could see a schoolhouse. The children were at recess. They were playing on the swings and running around. Behind them, they could see loads of men on horses. "What should we do?" said Mrs. Carr. "Can you see a castle?" said Mr. Carr. "Maybe the king wanted to see us because we're so rich." "But how would you get us here?" And besides, Mrs. Carr said, "But how would you get us here? And besides, there are no castles in this time. Let's see if any of the kids know how we came here. Maybe one of them has a father who's a magician and they're playing a prank on us. And if it is one of them, when we know who it is, we can make them bring us back." So they walked over to the school and questioned many of the kids, but it seemed like none of them had done anything to bring them there. Mr. Carr and Mrs. Carr were disappointed they hadn't found out how they got there, and it was starting to get dark. Mr. Carr said, "We better get inside the schoolhouse. We can sleep in there." When they got inside the schoolhouse, Mr. Carr saw a grandfather clock in the corner. He said, "Does this remind you of something? It looks exactly like our grandfather clock." "It must be our grandfather clock. Don't you get it? The clock did it. It's the only part of the house that's still here. One of the mice could have been messing with it and sent us back in time. So all we have to do is the clock back, and the house should be where the dark road is. Now that was easier said than done. It took all night for Mr. Cut to spin it back to the time when the house was there. At one point they were in a mall. But when he could see the house, he started yelling and dancing all around. I did it, he yelled. They walked over to their house. Everything was where it had been before they had been sent back in time. They got rid of the mice and lived happily ever after.
Beautifully done.
All right, so moving on, I would like to now welcome Iowa City Councilor Kingsley Botchway, who is also the Iowa City School District's Director of Equity, and he will help us to introduce our third graders. So, Kingsley.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we're going to start off with Riona Ayers from Twain. Naya Bunyan from Borlaug. Mia Elderman from Penn. Ellie Galloway from Lucas. Adeline Gokin from Penn. Caden Huntley from Willowwind. Molly Crow from Penn. Juan Liu from Hoover. Angeli Lode from Wickham. Henry Liu from Horn. Melanie Messier from Heritage Christian School. Jalen Perry from Van Allen. Emily Phillips from Lincoln. Kinsey Randall from Lemmy. Ivy Resk from Garner. Colin Ruin from Lucas. Owen Ruth from Twain. Anna Song from Lincoln. Lillian Steffens from Garner. Vera Tanas from Wickham. Karsten Triggs from Penn. And Richard Yang from Borlaug. Let's give all these great writers another round of applause. All right, our The Right Stuff winner, I'm excited to announce, is Mason Johnson from Lincoln Elementary, who will read My Grandpa's Trains.
I walk across the kitchen. I open a door hung with 3 spice racks. I see a staircase leading into darkness. I reach out and flip the lights on. My grandpa leads the way down the stairs. The stairs creak as we go down into the old dark basement. I reach out and flip the downstairs lights on. To the right, I see boxes of thread, an old sewing machine, and boxes of old toys. I turn to the left and see a rainbow of colors on a light brown plywood table. It is Grandpa's big model train table. I see black, orange, and orange transformers, green and red train cars, and a brown and light brown model train station, and a green-gray mountain tunnel. I walk forward to look at the track. It smells like oil. I ask Grandpa, can we get the trains running? Grandpa walks over to the outlet to plug in the transformer. We get an orange and blue diesel engine off the plywood and put it on the tracks. Grandpa walks over to the transformer and pushes the knobs up. The train starts running. The train is loud. I turn around and see the cat coming down the stairs softly. The cat circles the table, and I get under it so I can get to the middle, which is open so I can look at the whole truck. I'm happy because this is very fun looking, the engine going around fast. I look around and see a lot of train cars, miniature toy cars, boxes under the table, and an extra track, and many buildings, and 2 transformers. There are train engines, passenger train cars, and another track that leads to a dead end. Most people would think this looks like a mess, but to me this looks like my dream come true, because I love trains. Grandpa's basement is my favorite place to be.
Great job. I love it. Unfortunately, my son isn't here. He absolutely loves trains, and so he would love that story as well. All right, next, our From the Heart winner is Ava Bruxfort from Wickham Elementary, who will read A Knock on the Door, or A Knock at the Door.
A knock at the door. Once upon a time, there lived a poor little old lady who always wore black and white. She lived in a cottage in the forest. Her name was Sarah. She had a husband. His name was Naled. Naled had coffee every morning, always wore a tie. They loved each other very much, but always wanted a child. One morning, they heard a knock at the door. Naled answered it. "Hello," said a high-pitched voice. Naled looked left, then right, then up. Finally, he looked down and saw a tiny little girl who had a little blue bow and a puffy blue dress with ruffles. She had curly black hair and dark brown eyes. "Hello," she squeaked again. "My name is Lauren." Nala just stared at her. Finally, he spoke. "Sarah, come here now." Sarah stumbled down the steps and stood by Naled. "What's the matter?" Sarah started, but then stopped to look at Lauren, confused. What? She sputtered. "I know," Naled said. "Let's take her in." Sarah agreed, and they offered her some bread and asked her if she wanted to stay there. Lauren said yes and told them how she lost her parents one day in the forest and had no place to go. The very next day, Sarah took Lauren to her favorite spot in the forest. It had a rope swing and a little yellow slide. It brought Sarah joy to watch Lauren enjoying the special spot. When they got home, they baked chocolate chip cookies. As time passed, they grew more and more attached to Lauren, and she loved them very much. No one ever came to visit, so they were startled when they once again heard a knock at the door. Lauren yelled, "I'll get it!" She opened the door to find her parents standing there. By the time Naled and Sarah arrived at the door, they saw them hugging and crying. Sarah knew what was happening, and her heart broke. Her mother and father thanked them for watching after Lauren. Sarah prepared them food for their journey home. Sarah and Naled cried as they watched them leave. A month later, and the little cottage was filled with sadness. All of a sudden, they heard a knock at the door. They opened the door to find Lauren and her parents. Sarah and Lauren immediately hugged. Lauren's mom said, "She hasn't been the same since she left your house. We were hoping you would come back and stay with us. We could use someone to help watch Lauren." Sarah and Naled's dreams came true as they were able to keep Lauren in their life.
All right, so get ready. Our biggest class is coming up. And here to announce that will be Jenny Garner, who is the library director of the North Liberty Community Library, as well as a board member of the City of Literature. Jenny.
Lucia Allgood from Lincoln. Fiona Arnold from Longfellow. Finn Benest from Penn. Jackson Chard Kuda from Longfellow. Gabe Clark, Penn. Timothy Klein, Twain. Sarah Comer from Regina. Francis DeBoom from St. Matthew. Kate Dominy from Penn. Adriana Dunlevy from Penn. Warren Fega from Kirkwood. Rain Foley from Willowwind. Grace Gavin from Regina. Aiden Gillespie from Penn. Katie Ham from Horn. Katie Harmson from Lucas. Anchor Karandiker, sorry if I did that wrong, Willowwind. Cole Kearns from Penn. Luke Locker from, Longfellow. Corey Mack from Van Allen. James Meggett from Shimmick. Jeremy Myers from Kirkwood. Emily Ortiz from Lucas. Aaron Partridge from Man. Ben Platt from Longfellow. Anna Priestcorn from Garner. Lydia Pritchard from Longfellow. Avery Provorst from Lincoln. Sigrid Rossi from Lincoln. Olivia C. Garner. Lila Tallman from Lucas. Bennett Tauk from Penn. Rosie Terry from Willowwood. Ava Rose Turek from Lincoln. Sadie Wallace from Lincoln. Cindy Wang from Borlaug. Andreas Warren from Borlaug. Iris Williams from Man. Tate Williams from Lemmy. Eliza Woodward from Longfellow. Marin Zwanziger from Van Allen. And here's a big hand to these guys. We'll bring up our Right Stuff winner. Next is Ginger McCartney from Willowwind School, who will read The Lonely Chipmunk.
The Lonely Chipmunk. My mother died when I was 3. I have 3 older sisters. They look after me. So does my papa. My name is Chestnut. Papa heads out of Happy Hollows, which is where we live. Papa's going to the neighboring forest looking for nuts. I don't know why everyone is hugging and kissing him. He said he's going to be back in a few days. The way they are hugging him, it is too sad. It was like he was leaving forever. Sorry. If that is true, who would take care of us? After they are done hugging Papa and kissing him, they come over to me and Hazel whispers in my ear, "Everything's gonna be okay." For a split second, I believe her, and that's when I notice that the idea Papa isn't coming back is true. I am paralyzed in sadness and fear, not knowing what to say, so I just sit there and stare ahead, as Hazel, Daisy, and Maple start to understand that I know that Papa possibly isn't coming back. Still staring ahead, I start to cry, and then my sisters cry too. And not being able to take the sadness, I venture deeper into my family's burrow. In the burrow, I have one place where I go to feel better. That place is the biggest window in the house. I look out the window, watching the snow fall, each snowflake unique. Then my eyes drift all the other animals in the forest, playing in the snow. I wish I could, but I am too sad. But then I notice the only thing I can do is pretend. Pretend to be happy, pretend not to remember my troubles. So I leave the window feeling a lot better. After that, I get my snowy coat on that I got for my birthday last year and burst out of the burrow, feeling the excitement rising inside me. I call for my sisters, but only Hazel and Daisy come out. We throw snowballs at each other, roll down the hill, giggle and laugh, but something's missing. Then Daisy goes back in the burrow, skipping, and me and Hazel shrug. Then we go back to playing. After a while, Daisy emerges from the burrow with 3 acorn caps. I am confused. What are we going to do with 3 acorn caps in the snow? Then, suddenly, Daisy puts 1 acorn cap down on the hill's edge, runs backwards, sprints forwards, and jumps on the acorn cap. It is amazing, and I have to try it. So I do the exact same thing. I go whirling around in the soft, sparkling snow. It is quite comforting. But then I see a tree. Thinking I'd be able to spin around it, I do not slow down, but go head first into the tree. When Daisy just starts to make her way over, I get up and start giggling. Hazel is hesitant to come down. She thinks it is dangerous and not wise, but she at least has to try it. So down she goes, going at a tremendous speed. She makes her way all the way down the hill. Then there is silence. Not a word is spoken. Daisy and Hazel look at me and where I am looking, and see an incredible sight. It is Papa. He's carrying a huge sack of nuts. Only now does Hazel tell me how dangerous his trip has been. I run to greet him. I wrap my arms around him. Not letting go now, never letting go.
And our From the Heart winner, Livian LaVine from Lincoln Elementary, will read Recipe for Disaster.
Recipe for disaster. You wake and reach for the clock, but your water glass tips with a knock. It spills all over your bed and head, soaking your good morning mood instead. You reach for your robe to mop up the water and dry yourself off, but you trip on your slippers when you cough a dry cough. While on the floor, you spot a dime, but when you grab it, it's covered in slime. You reach for the tissues, but find the box empty, so you grab a clean sock, of which you have plenty. The cat has thrown up in various places, the floor, the closet, and even in your shoe. The cat is now taboo, yet still dares to make grumpy faces at you. The socks end up in the laundry hamper, a soggy mess sure to be a mother damper. Oh, what a morning! And listen, was that thunder? Is that rain? Is it storming? Do you dare go downstairs to face the day? Or should you perhaps just hide away?
So I would like to welcome to the stage Lance Samantha Chang, who is director of the Iowa Writers Workshop at the University of Iowa, and she will introduce our 5th graders.
Our 5th grade honorable mention students are Elizabeth Bird from Wickham, Tom Giorgio from St. Matthew, Hakim Isa from Lemmy, Anna Matson from Chipmunk, Christian Melessa from Garner, Ty Miller from Garner, Krista Olson from Garner. Asher Overholt from Weber. Ella Scott from Coralville Central. Sage Slessor from Prairie Creek. Tamaya Turan from Hills. And Charlotte Windmill from Kirkwood. And now, the Right Stuff winner is Abby McNeeley from Garner Elementary, who will read Wini.
Winnie raced through the forest. It was midday, and she was being followed by 2 hunters. She was a wolf. She had lost her parents when she was very young, and now she had to fend for herself. The hunters were closing in, and she began to worry. What if they caught her? She couldn't let that happen. She pushed forward with the last of her strength, which got her farther away from the hunters. Winnie couldn't run any longer. Her energy was slowly draining away. But just as she felt she was going to collapse from exhaustion, 3 wolves burst out of the undergrowth in front of her and charged at the hunters. Winnie stopped. Had they lost their minds? The hunters would definitely catch them if they did that. But those wolves didn't seem to care. They just kept on running. The hunters stopped, and Winnie thought she saw fear glittering in their eyes. When the 3 wolves got close enough to attack, the hunters saw that they were outnumbered, and they turned and ran. The 3 wolves turned and bounded up to her. As they got closer, she saw the colors of their fur. One was gray and lean, with small ears and a long tail. The next was dark gray, and Winnie could see him flexing his powerful muscles. The last one was light brown and had a short, stubby tail. "You saved my life," Winnie said. "Thank you." The gray wolf with small ears was the one that spoke next. "You're welcome. We are here to protect and help anyone who needs it." He flicked his tail towards the bulky wolf. "This is Thorn." Then he flicked his tail towards the brown wolf. "This is Starry, and I'm Feather." Winnie guessed that those wolves must be very brave to risk their lives for the protection of others. "I'm Winnie," she said. "Winnie," Feather began, "we saw how fast you ran when you were being chased by the hunters. And how smart you were to run instead of take both of the hunters on," Starry put in, with an irritated glance at Thorn. "Hey!" Thorn exclaimed. "I only did that one time." Feather's face lit up with amusement. "What I was saying," Feather began again, "would you like to join us, Winnie?" Join them? Of course she would join them. Helping anyone who needed it sounded amazing. "Yes!" Winnie exclaimed. She was so excited to begin her new life, helping anyone who needed it, with friends at her side.
Thank you, Abby. And now our From the Heart winner is Deborah Turner from Twain Elementary, who will read The Spot.
The Spot. One day, lion, antelope, and parrot were going to the pond for a drink. They were all in a hurry because all of them wanted the spot by the pond that was shaped like a throne. They said that the spot was only fit for a king. Both lion, antelope, and parrot went right to the spot. Lion was furious. "This is my spot, which totally makes sense since I am the mightiest," he roared. "No, this is my spot, which totally makes sense since I am the king and fastest," said Antelope. "No, this is my spot, which totally makes sense since I am king and the most beautiful," Parrot squawked. "You guys must have rocks for brains to think that you're king." They argued for a while, then Lion said, "How about we settle this in the plains?" "Okay," shouted the others, so off they went to the plains. When they got there, Parrot asked Lion and Antelope, How are we going to settle this? A competition, of course, exclaimed Antelope. A racing competition. Nonsense, roared Lion. It should be a roaring contest. Psst. It should be a flying contest, said Parrot. There will be nothing of the sort, said Cheetah. Don't you remember what Cougar said? He said that everybody is equal. How about you share? No, groaned Lion, Antelope, and Parrot. Yes, said Cheetah. Okay, groaned Lion, Antelope, and Parrot. Then they went to the pond. Hey, this isn't that bad, they said. Friends? Asked Cheetah. Friends, said Lion, Antelope, and Parrot. We should do this more often. The end. The moral of the story is that everyone is special in their own way, that everyone should be treated equally.
So I would like to now invite Nadine Petty to join us on the stage. Nadine is the University of Iowa Center for Diversity and Enrichment Director, and she will introduce our next grade. So Nadine.
Our 6th grade honorable mention students are Victoria Aragon from Regina, is Victoria there? No. Liangle Cherise Carlson from Longfellow, Sage Dickerson from Lucas, Isaac Fletcher from Weber, Sullivan Hall from Longfellow, Ethan Keeney from Penn, Caroline Mascardo from Weber, Ruth Meehan from Hoover, Tyler Moores from Penn, Estella Newton from Lincoln, Zoe Nolte from Weber, Aiden Stoddard from Penn, Maria Volkman, Longfellow, Ferguson Ward, Longfellow, Sarah Wall from Penn. Thank you. And now the Right Stuff winner is Kiva Meeks Mosley from Wood Elementary, who will read The Spider.
Ah, Mary Beth, the queen bee of the 6th grade, screamed, "Spider!" It was a spider unlike any I'd ever seen before. It had a gold body and long, hairy black legs. Mary Beth tried to squish it, but it skittered away too quickly. After that little episode of drama, everyone returned to what they were doing. As I was walking to my locker, I accidentally bumped into Mary Beth, dumping her books everywhere. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," I cried, scrambling to help her pick her books up. This would probably be a good time to introduce myself. I'm Sky Johnson. "You better be, Smelly Sky," she replied, making me a mean new nickname. The hallway roared with laughter. I kept my head down and tried to ignore everyone for the rest of the day. The next day, everyone seemed to have forgotten yesterday's incident. That is, until we once again spotted the yellow spider. Everyone screamed and tried to stomp it, especially Mary Beth, the best spider stomper in the whole school. But it was too fast. Mary Beth then turned around and spotted me. "You know what, Smelly Sky? I'd rather spend an hour with that spider than 10 minutes with you." A chorus of laughs and other rude comments bellowed from the crowd. This time, I couldn't shrug it off. I ran crying into the girls' bathroom and locked myself in a stall. About 5 minutes later, a mysterious black box slid under the stall door. Cautiously, I opened it. There was a black velvet lining on the inside of the box, and a blood-red pendant lay in the middle. Suddenly, the spider crawled out from the lid of the box. I screamed and threw the lid across the room. Then, I picked up the stone and looked at it. I noticed a piece of paper under the place where the pendant had been lying. It said, "This is a powerful stone. You can make one wish on it, and it will be granted. Be careful." Still upset, and carelessly disregarding the last line on the note, I said, "I wish I was anyone other than who I am." The spider then crawled back under the stall door, and right before I passed out, I swore I saw a malicious glint in its eyes. Then the world faded to blackness. I opened my eyes. Everything was so big. Had I shrunk? I decided to find out. I jumped up to the bathroom sink's mirror and gaped in horror. I was the spider. Then a sickening thought crept into my head. If I was the spider, was the spider me? My question was answered a few minutes later as my human body slunk out of the stall. It looked like me, but moved like a spider. I felt immense relief when it left, and I jumped back down to the floor to ponder what to do. Just then, Mary Beth walked into the room. She let out an ear-piercing shriek. She went to stomp me, and this time, I, the spider, was not fast enough to scurry away.
Thank you. Our From the Heart winner is Katie Tippet from Penn Elementary, who will read The Ride.
Today, I, Wendy Westchester, and my brother, Wesley Westchester, have persuaded the unpersuadable Mr. and Mrs. Zucchini to come to the Wacky World amusement park with us. This is an absolutely, positively amazing thing that would most likely never happen in a lifetime. The reason being that the Zucchinis may possibly be the most stubborn elders on this earth. But today, my brother and I are going to remind them what it is like to have fun. The second we stepped out of the Zucchini's old station wagon, we could smell the corn dogs, cotton candy, and the funnel cakes. "I knew this wasn't a good idea," said Mr. Zucchini. "Oh, come on, this'll be fun. It'll be like when you were a kid again," exclaimed Wesley. "I guess you're right. I always did like that one ride that did loop-de-loops," stated Mrs. Zucchini. "I know that ride. They still have it," I replied. We found the line to the loop-de-loop ride Mrs. Zucchini was talking about. It was a ride with many drops and, of course, the 3 large loop-de-loops that had been currently holding a cart of screaming people. "Are you sure you want to do this? It looks pretty intense," asked Wesley. "I'd say no, but we're next in line. So yes, let's just get this over with," Mr. Zucchini said. "Anything you say, Mr. Zucchini," Wesley said in an uncomfortable tone. As I sat down next to Mrs. Zucchini on the cushioned cart, she stared right ahead, saying nothing. "Are you nervous?" I asked. "Well, of course I'm nervous. I haven't been on this ride for over 50 years, she replied. There was an awkward moment of silence between us, until Wesley broke the silence in the seat behind us. The bar to the seat lowered, and then a screechy voice coming from the intercom said, "Please remain in your seats for the whole ride. Please keep your hands and arms in the cart. And please do not throw your trash or any belongings outside of the cart." After that, the rickety cart started rolling out of the station, while 2 employees said in a dreary tone, "Enjoy the ride." With that, we were off. We went down a small slope that Mrs. Zucchini was apparently easily frightened from. Thump click was the only thing I heard while riding up a giant hill. As we reached the top, we stopped. Then, while we were tipping over, my mouth widened while I let out a shriek. Flash. Everyone was screaming and yelling, while some people tried to go no-handed. I, for one, was not one of those people, and neither was Mrs. Zucchini. I knew it was coming soon, the loop-de-loops. So while I braced myself, Mr. Zucchini must have been excited for them. He was the only one who still had his hands in the air. While we were going through the twists and turns of the loop-de-loops, I thought about how Mr. Zucchini had his hands in the air, how Mrs. Zucchini had been laughing the whole time, and how both of them had huge smiles on their faces. After the ride, a man handed us a photo. None of us knew what it was until Wesley flipped it over. It had been the Flash. The Flash I saw while I was screaming. The Flash Mr. Zucchini saw while his hands were in the air. The Flash Wesley saw while he had been yelling. The Flash Mrs. Zucchini saw while she was laughing. And the Flash that would turn into a photo that would be a memory never forgotten for all 4 of us.
Thank you, Katie.
Now I would like to welcome to the stage Sam Osheroff, the artistic director of Riverside Theater, and he's going to introduce our last two grade levels.
Our 7th grade honorable mention students are Uriel Campos Padilla from Northwest, Alexandra Carlin from Northwest, Brady Gramacki, also from Northwest, Natalie Kaiser from North Central, Alexandra Paremba from Southeast, Divya Shayamal from Northwest, Kayla Wright from North Central, and Reese Yang from Northwest. The Right Stuff winner is Badra Khalil from Northwest Junior High. And she will read Ride.
Really quickly before I begin, I would like to say thank you to all those who inspired me to keep reading and writing. So, yeah. My story is called Ride. I make my way through the bus aisle, careful not to trip over any loose items. The weather is slightly cloudy, but not in a way that threatens to rain down on me. Walking down the hill, I stay close to the curb so that if any cars drive by, I'll be safe. I watch the neighbor's kid falling all over his bike. I watch him lose his balance, scrape his knee, and get back up again. I wonder what it must feel like to do that, to try and fall over again. I was never able to bike. I saw my classmates come to school with scrapes and bruises, and that frightened me enough to stop me from attempting it. My parents thought it was just a phase, but once they realized it wasn't, they didn't push it. Ever since, it looms over me like a dark cloud, threatening to pour. The little boy sees me and waves me over. I smile and wave back. Being sure to look left and right, I cross the road onto the Kelly's lawn. The boy kicks back the bike's kickstand, sets his feet on the pedals, and makes a ridiculous face as he makes an effort to bike on grass. He makes it to me successfully. He's getting better. "Hey," he exclaims, slightly winded. "Hi," I say, unsure of what he wanted. "Oh yeah, you've met my parents, right? Okay, so my name is Devin and I'm 6, he says, sticking his arm out. I shake his hand. "I'm Haley, I'm 13, nice to meet you. Do you want to have a bike race? Down the street to the tree and back. I'll go easy on you. I'm something of a pro." "I'd love to, Devin, but I have a lot of homework." "Maybe another time," I say, not quite meaning it. His face drops. 5 seconds later, it lights up like a light bulb. "I can teach you. Like I said, I'm really good." I laugh. "I'll bet." "So yes?" He jumps up and down. "Look, Devin, I'm sorry. I can't bike, and I'm not sure I ever will. If you want to play something else, we can do that. Do you like sidewalk chalk?" He frowns and shakes his head. "That's okay. See you later, Haley." I feel bad for him, but I don't know what to say. I wave and cross the street again. I walk home, hiking my backpack up higher on my back. I can feel Devin's eyes on me the whole way home. Once I'm in the garage, I can't help but notice Mom's slightly dusty but working bike. I don't know what sparks me to run inside and tell Mom that I'm going to borrow her bike, but I do, and she smiles from ear to ear, telling me that I'm more than welcome to, if it's for biking. I run back to the garage, grab the orange bike, and slowly walk it out, making sure that my legs remain far away from anything that could scratch them. I get to the street, and Devin sees me. He grins wider than I thought possible. As soon as I get close, he starts telling me what to do. "Put your feet on the pedals and sit on the seat. Hold the handles and pedal as fast as you can." He makes hand motions to ensure I know what to do. I decide to start on the grass. That way, if I fall, it won't be so bad. My hands shake as I seat myself. I decide to keep both feet planted firmly on the ground as I grab the handles. I pick up one foot and set it on the pedal. I pick the other up and quickly slam it back down. Both feet off the ground for that long? No way. "Just do it, Haley. Just pick up your foot and pedal," Devin yells at me. I glance at him, and slowly, ever so cautiously, I pick up the other foot. I stick it on the pedal and start to turn. I grip the handle so hard my knuckles start to turn white. I can feel myself losing my balance, and before I can put my feet on land again, my bike topples over, taking me with it. I get bruised and scraped a little bit, but it's worth it. After all, if you don't fall, you'll never learn how to get back up.
Our From the Heart winner is Faria Ahmad from North Central Junior High, who will read Auntie Jen.
Auntie Jen. When I was a little girl, about 5 years old, I had someone I trusted. I had someone who believed in me no matter what. Someone who was always in a happy mood. And that was Auntie Jen. Auntie Jen would be the one who protected me from everything that was happening. She would take me up to the attic when Mama and Daddy would fight. She would help me climb up the stairs, with Chester the cat following us up, ever so quietly. She would place my head on a soft pillow and would pull out what she called the enchanted map. We would look at it, seeing all the enchanted worlds out there. These enchanted worlds were special because they did not appear on any regular map. I would stare at it, with Chester hugging my legs. Auntie Jen would tell me that I could go to any of these places, as long as I believed. And I did. I did believe. "Which place would you want to go to?" she always asked. With my left hand, I would point to Arabia. She would smile and say me too. In the attic, I would always tell Auntie Jen all my secrets, and how I felt about everything going on in life. With my right arm missing, I felt very different and alone. But when Auntie Jen was there, I would feel I was not alone. I would feel safe. "Listen," she would say, "this only makes you stronger. Hope is not lost. Hope is very much there. You are not alone." She would hold me close and stroke my hair. Sometimes I would even cry. Then that day came, the day I never thought would come. It was the day I would have to say goodbye to Auntie Jen. At Auntie Jen's funeral, I cried so very hard. Mama and Daddy just sat there, blankly and depressed. 5 years after Auntie Jen's death, I went up to the attic and found the enchanted map. My tears fell on the map and on Chester's fur. I touched Arabia. "Hope is not lost. Hope is very much there. You are not alone," I whispered.
And our 8th grade honorable mention students are Amir Abdagich, Maya de Gracia from Northwest. Amir is also from Northwest. Reese Hill from Southeast. Henry Crane from North Central. They must be all out somewhere together. Courtney Olson from North Central. And Natalie Young from Northwest. The Right Stuff winner is Lila Terry from North Central Junior High, whose piece is A New Nation, but Lila could not be with us today.
Actually, she is.
Oh, she is with us. There she is. I'm wrong. So everybody else couldn't be with us.
I watch as the golden crescent of a sun rises over the foggy field, making the lobsterback's coats look more like blood than fabric. A sign in the distance says that we are in Concord, Massachusetts. I watch the opposing soldiers. They stand straight and still, attentive and alert. It reminds me of how my little brother and I used to act when we played soldier, when we still had time to play. We would command each other to straighten your spine or shoot like you mean it. But back then it was all pretend. None of it mattered. Now it does. Now it's for real. I glance over at Edward, my friend from Yale, the only person I can relate to. I see the color rising to his face. His eyebrows crease and a single tear falls down his face, all the way down to his coat, where it waits, quivering like the man it came from. mimicking so many in its wake, and then it falls. There's a small splash in the puddle beneath it, and then silence. I know where that tear came from. It came from the desperation war creates, from the freedoms that have been stolen, from the families that have been separated, from the lives that have been taken, from the hearts that have been broken. I know what's coming next, and I know I can't stop it, but I reach over, feeling the thin coat covering Edward's arm, and whisper, "Please don't shoot. Don't start this battle." It's too late. He lifts the gun and shoots the shot heard around the world. The bullet slices through the morning fog like a knife. As if magnetic, all the heads follow the small ball and watch as it strikes the lobster back right in the chest. He keels over and hits the ground. The fight has begun. Bullets whiz through the misty air back and forth, the cracks of muskets indistinguishable from one another, like one long noise. All I hear is war, the thing my parents had protected me from for my whole life, the thing I must now fight in, the thing I must win. As I raise my musket, I see a bullet soar through the sky. I see a beauty and a weapon, with Edward standing in its path. It strikes and Edward falls. For me, the war has ended. For someone I care about is hurt. Yet everyone keeps fighting. Don't they understand they need to stop? To help? Don't they realize a friend needs them? I know I must keep fighting. I must keep moving. I must start shooting. But I can't. I can't let him die without trying to save him. I reach down and grab Edward under the arms, my hands slowly turning red and wet, but I keep dragging him to safety. If he dies, it's on me. I should have stopped him. I should have protected him. I need to save him. I pull Edward down behind a bush and find the wound. I take out my pocket knife and use it to cut off the bullet. Then I take off his shirt and wrap it around his arm. We need to win this battle. We need to win this war. We need to be free from the people who oppress us and shoot the ones we love. I raise my musket and walk back onto the field. I must help win this battle for all the children who would have a chance to grow up in a free nation. Mother and father who would finally see me as a man. My brother Tim, who would have to answer to no English king and never have to deal with the injustice of his taxes. I need to win this battle for the free and the enslaved, for the happy and the oppressed, for the chance to live in a new nation with liberty and peace.
All right, thank you, Lila. Our From the Heart winner is Ingrid Gingrich from Heritage Christian School, who will read Poetry 3 a.m.
What a strange state I find myself in. Some call it an ungodly hour. I disagree. At times there is simultaneous sleeplessness, awakening, despair, hope. I find myself as close and as far from God as I ever have. Suddenly a word comes to me, then many beautiful words, which tumble onto a page of my mind, flittering like birds on the horizon of thought. Fighting for my attention in the dark, they whisper, one in particular, Sonder. The realization that every single person has a complex life just like mine. How often do I think of them? Not enough. I sit silent, heart beating, mind racing, thoughts fighting, reminded of all I have not done, but could have, and what I did not do enough. Find comfort in the word, struggling, realizing what a strange and beautiful state I am in at 3 a.m.
So again, I wanted to thank all of you for coming. Thank you so much to our young writers and our young readers. It's a great opportunity for us to celebrate young writing, young writers, and what they're doing here in the Iowa City-Cedar Rapids corridor. I wanted to give a big thank you to all of the folks that were helping out with us today. Community Foundation of Johnson County, ACT, U.S. Bank, Hotel Vetro, Terry Lockridge and Dunn, and World Trend Financial, Urban Acres, the Tuesday Agency for the Dr. Scott tickets. We also want to thank Tim Terry and Carolyn Brown, who are both were on my board. Tim continues to be on my board, who helped to really conceive of this event. I know Carolyn is here and Tim are here. We should give them a round of applause. Without them, this would not have been possible. Again, I'd like to thank the University President's Office for helping us with this warm facility. Just think if it had been 20 below like it was a year ago, you'd thank us. Drama in the Classroom course students who helped out, and of course Jeff Addis and the folks with Pearson who evaluated all of these 800 submissions and really helped us with this process. Paula, of course, thank you so much. Thank you to Sarah Glenn, who was the head of our committee this year for the festival. Thank you to all of our school teacher librarians, particularly in the Iowa City District, who helped us out with gathering all of these materials. It was a lot of work, and we really appreciate that. And thanks as well to our presenters, Sam and Jenny and Nadine, who are still here, and Sam and Kingsley and Mayor Throgmorton as well. So thank you all. Congratulations, and have a good rest of your Sunday. Thanks.
You're watching City Channel 4, your window to our community.